Hi, and welcome to the Children and Youth Room at Pacific Spirit United Church. This is one of my favorite spaces in the whole church, and it's one of the spaces I miss the most. I'm guessing that for many of you, this is the space you miss the most. And so I thought it would be nice this morning to share the learning together from this beautiful sacred space. Now, when we gather here for youth group, we always begin by lighting a candle. So let's start by lighting a candle. Once there was someone who said such wonderful things and did such amazing things that people began to follow him. They just couldn't help themselves. And one time, when they asked him who he was, he said, "I am the light." He didn't just keep the light to himself. He shared the light with all who followed. And those who followed shared it with others. And those others shared it with others, and so on, until somebody shared that light with you. Now you are part of the light. Each week at youth group, we take a time to check in. We light our candle to symbolize bringing the light from within ourselves into this space. We do a check-in. We share a highlight, something wonderful, a low light, something that's been difficult. This is Connor and Nathan's favorite fish-shaped candle holder. And then we share a prayer. This one's Chrissy's favorite. The prayer may be for something that's happening in the world. I think Madison usually lights this one. The prayer might be for a friend or a family member. Or the prayer might be something for ourselves, something we need God's support, guidance, and care for. This particular one, I think, is Sam's favorite. It kind of looks like the Weather Network symbol. All the candle holders have special names. So, the scripture this morning is one of the many stories about the Apostle Paul. Paul is traveling all around telling people about God and about Jesus' message of love. One of the places he goes to, they refer to the unknown God, or the God that nobody knows. And so he begins to tell them all about God, at the same time saying, we will never know all about God. And there are so many times when we really want to understand and know more about God, as much as we can. I think that's why some people come to church, just to learn as much as they can about God. Now, I went on Google on my computer, very limited definition. There are so many books. I have a book by Matthew Fox that's called Naming the Unnameable, that has 89 wonderful and useful names for God. I have Sandy Eisenberg Sasso's book, In God's Name, that's all about the many names people have for God. I have another book called What is God? That tries to help people understand a little bit about the nature of God. But none of them, not even Google, gives an answer that answers the whole question. It's a little bit like the ancient Buddhist or Sufi parable about the 7 people who encountered an elephant in the dark. And one person got a hold of the ear and said, "It's a fan." Another person touched the side of the body of the elephant and said, "It's a wall." Somebody got the trunk and said, "It's a snake." And another person got the tail and said, "I think it's a rope." Each person felt a different part of the elephant. Nobody was able to see the whole elephant. And so I think God's a little bit like that. We encounter and experience God in different ways. And that's why we have so many names for God. I have some of them here. I hope you can see my printing. The first one we talked about when we lit our candle. God's name is light. God's name is compassion. Some people call God Mother, and some people call God Father. When Moses encounters God at the burning bush, God tells Moses that God's name is I Am. I am. Some people call God Comforter. Some people call God Holy One. When Paul spoke to the people who didn't know God, Paul talked about the God that is Creator. And these are just a few of the names for God. I wonder what names you have for God. One of my favorite, well, it's not even a name, it's a big name. It's a way of describing God. And again, it comes from the story of Paul in Athens. Paul says, God is the one in which we live and move and have our being. I kind of think that have our being means the one in which our whole existence is held. You might remember a few weeks ago, I invited you to take a moment to think about a place outside of the church building, since we've been sheltering in place, that you have encountered God, and to take a moment to videotape that place and share with us where you have found God or encountered God and why you think so. So far, I've received one wonderful video that someone sent simply saying that they found God in the ripples in the water. So I invite you again to take some time. You can go on the website to find the instructions of how to videotape your video piece, and then take some time to videotape yourself and send me the video. And hopefully on Pentecost Sunday, we will have a nice long video for the Learning Together time of people sharing the many places that they have encountered God since we haven't been able to gather together in this space. May God bless you as you go into your day and keep you in peace and comfort and love until we meet again. Amen.